going on, people? And welcome back to Total Spurs. And it's a nice Sunday night. Pretty cold out here in Oz. Um, but Delane, how are you, bro?
Yeah, good man. Yeah, it's pretty cold out here in Australia, but no, look, I'm doing well.
Yeah, it's freezing. As you can see, I'm all nice and rugged up. Got my slippers on. Obviously, before we get into it, guys, make sure you are liking and subscribing to the channel. Appreciate all the love that we ever had lately. We're pushing up in those subscribers, and we appreciate it. So just make sure you're smashing a like as well. And
hmm
guys, comment down below. We like to have a bit of banter on these lives. We like to have a bit of a joke. So make sure you're hitting your thoughts up and your feelings. And Uncle Merv is already in. How are you, bro? Hope you're doing well.
hmm
Um, hope you come on soon as well.
Yeah, man.
Um, so D, today we're going to have a
Yeah,
chat. Um, let's start with some good news. Some good news because
yeah,
a lot of bad news in the Tottenham
yeah. There is,
community.
there is.
Um, as everybody or people may not know, a few of us here at Total Spurs are English born. Was raised until I was 10 in North London, and I'm very patriotic. Love it when England win. The Ashes is on. Don't follow cricket, but you know
Mm,
if England win, I'm gonna big them up. But the England under 21s have won the Euros. Who'd have think
yeah,
it? England winning a
yeah,
trophy.
yeah. No, it's good, man. Like it's good. It's good to actually, see the actual England get up there and win the trophy. But yeah, I didn't really watch the game. I think it was too early in the morning. And yeah, I just didn't get up to watch the game. But yeah, I heard it was a good game. The boys did well, and yeah, no, big congratulations to England the under 21s for winning the trophy.
Yeah, well, I was in and out of sleep. I didn't really get it. I had to find it illegally because I couldn't get it. I didn't know where to find it here in Oz. But
Mm,
Ollie Skip was in the squad. However, he didn't really feature much of the tournament. Only got 10 minutes, I think, and a bit of cameo in the back half of the final for the under 21s. Big up, I would say, um, Cameron Jones, but it was actually a nice free kick from Gordon that ricocheted off his back to score the only goal. And the thing is, these boys, 6 wins in 6 games,
mm,
0 goals conceded. That is
mm.
astounding for a young team to be so defensively capable and last minute penalty saved by Taffet. Um, great save, great second save actually. I think the second save
Mm.
was harder than the first. And yeah, the boys have won a trophy, and you've got the likes of Morgan Gibbs White in there, Skips in
Yeah,
there, Emil Smith Rowe. These type of players that we already know in and around the Premier League. So it's good that these lads are winning some trophies because we need to emulate that to the men's team.
yeah,
All the kids are doing well throughout the years. It's the men's teams where we're failing. So um, big up Nathan Warner. How are you, bro? Hope you're doing well.
big up,
Um,
bro.
yeah, it was insane. The second save, as I said, I think the second save was better than the first for me.
Mm.
I think it was a lot harder. Um, but D, anything
Yeah,
else
man.
to touch on to that before we get into Tottenham and the mess it is right now?
Yeah, I don't want to go there, but now look, yeah, obviously you'll be happy, these boys got the win, the 20s. But look, the big boys need to step up now. I think they need to step up to win the trophy. If these young boys, 21s, can win something, I'm sure the big boys can win something. So look, you boys just have to hope they can get something, a trophy, or either get a trophy, or if they don't get a trophy, either sack Southgate, because yeah, he's just not doing it for you guys. I don't think.
Oh, I've never liked Southgate. I think his tactics and these choices are poor at best. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we move. So back to Tottenham. The big news out today, well, for the last 24 to 48 hours, is the actual price hike of the Category A. I'm pretty sure it's Category A, but it actually might be the whole season.
Mm,
Ticket prices. So the season ticket prices haven't risen, but if you don't know, I think most of the prices for match goers that don't have a season ticket, I think it's raised about £13. Now, if you're Aussie and don't know what that is in Australian, that's about $25 on top. So instead of it being, it's currently, I think it's going up to like 90 £90 for a ticket. That's $180 to go and see Parramatta play Panthers. That's quite insane, if I'm honest, considering. And the thing is season ticket holders can actually make some money now. If they don't go to games, they can sell their tickets for a higher price and make money on their season ticket. So it's kind of a fast by the club. I mean, it doesn't affect us directly here in Australia. Obviously, we can't get to games as much as we would love to. But that's insane. The amount of supporters that will now be out of pocket or won't be able to go to games because of this. It's disgraceful by the club. The fact that even the supporters trust didn't even get a wind of it, didn't even get a choice in the matter to say anything. They pretty much just got told this is what we're doing and that's it. And I can't believe it myself, D. But how do you feel about it?
Oh man, I think it's absolutely atrocious. That like for us, for us in Australia, that's a lot of money, just to go fucking just to watch a game. So I mean, fucking, I can understand where them coming from too, living in England. So yeah, look, for Levy to actually in the whole club itself to say, oh no, we're gonna just boost up the ticket prices. That's just insane. I don't see much supporters, going to the games if they can afford it. Like I just don't understand why. Like, I just really don't understand why the ticket prices gotta keep going up and up each season. Like, it's like, are we making any money from this, or like, are we making any money so far, or is it just the club just wants more? They're just, gold mining. They just want more, 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 more from the fans because I believe that's absolutely atrocious.
Well, Nathan Warner puts it up here, right? I've seen so much on Twitter saying a lot of people won't be going to games purely because they can't afford it. Big joke, and that's the thing. There's so many people now. There's even I don't know if many of you know, but Richard Cracknell, he's a big name on Twitter in terms of Tottenham. Goes on to Last Word on Spurs, and even he has said that he's priced out of taking his family to the games. And I myself here a couple of years ago, we'll say 3 years ago, just before the pandemic, I actually bought tickets to go watch Man City at home in the stadium. Couldn't go because they rearranged the game, but it was about $150, £75, and that was before the recession, before the COVID and the inflation raises and stuff. So I just can't believe it. The fact that we've got so many other avenues of revenue. We've got let alone the stadium revenue that's probably the biggest in the country in terms of how much we make on a match day. We've got concerts coming out of our ass, boxing matches. We've got the F1. We've got NFL. Like, how much money do these guys want? And they can say it's to match the inflation and how much they're going to lose for not being in Europe. But you're taking it out on the fans. Is it the fans' fault that we didn't make Europe this season?
Yeah.
How about you go and stop paying out managers 30, 40 mil to sack them because you don't give them the players they need? You look at the Conte, paying out Conte, Nuno's contract, Poch's contract, Mourinho's contract, all that money that we spent out on these coaches that we don't even put the money into the club. And then when we do put money into the club, it's not in the right areas. And then when we don't get to Europe, it's literally, it's the fans' fault. Let's fuck the fans up by giving them a price hike, because at the end of the day, we can't admit that we were wrong. It's disgusting.
It is disgusting. And then they're talking about building three more. I think it's like 3 more. There was the news coming out that saying they're bringing.
Yeah, it's like hotels. And like
that's what I was going to say. I thought it was hotels. Yeah,
and they built the go-kart track underneath the stadium. Like, are we serious? As a club, we're spending more money and more on building the environment up than actually spending it on the team, and then it's affecting the working class fans who are the lifeblood of this club, who have been around before and after these owners will come and go, and it's like, for me, I'm outraged and I don't even live there.
Yeah, like, I can imagine if we did live there, that would be absolutely. I'll be absolutely gutted. Absolutely pissed off because I wouldn't be able to go to the game because the prices are too high. How you meant to make a living if you pay that much for a game and plus try and do everything else? Like, I just don't understand it. To be honest, I really don't understand really why they got to do this to us and do this to the fans. Like, without us, Tottenham wouldn't be what it is. Like, we make Tottenham. We're the fans. We actually make Tottenham. So for Levy to, just try and we'll just boost the prices up, and try to get the fans like the fans don't they just they're everything. But in saying that, they're just trying to take more money from the fans just so they can make something of their own. And it's just like I don't understand it at all.
Well, Nath Warner says it clearly right here. It's not a good look when we finished eighth last year, and there's no certain of our biggest player being here this year. So
Hmm.
we could lose Harry Kane. Oh,
Yep.
we're going to lose our best player. So we're just going to jack the prices up because
Yeah.
fucking why not? Um, Uncle Mev obviously agrees, and then Warner's back in again with the eight richest club, and we're jacking up the prices. And that's the thing you also got to consider. We have the lowest spend ratio with wages to revenue in the league.
Yep.
49% of our revenue goes to wages. So we didn't even pay our players that well. So we're making so much money off of lack of wage bill,
Yep.
the fact that we make the highest revenue. We're making all this money and they still have to jack the prices up. And the thing is, and as I say, reiterate it, it was before they had a discussion and they promised the Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust that they wouldn't be jacking up the prices until they had a meeting with the fan run like trust to ensure that it was all above board, and they've just done it. And this is on the back of now not just because we're not in Europe doesn't mean we don't have any money. I mean, we were spending more money when we weren't in Europe before we had Poch on shit players.
Yep.
So it's I don't know where we go as a club from here. I don't know what happens. Um, Honestly, I'm stumped for words. The fact that they've done this.
Yeah, and I feel bad for the fans who actually want to go to the games. Take the kids, the families to the games, and they can't afford now because Lee was just pretty much done a dog shot on them and just basically just put the prices up. So basically, yeah, they can't go, they can't afford it, and I wouldn't be surprised if not many fans turn up to the games, and then Levy's going to be questioning, why no one's turned up to the games? Well, here's the reason: the prices. Drop the prices, and then you actually might get the fans back, but. Yeah, until that happens, Levy's just done a dog on the fans, and the whole fan base is blowing up about it. And yeah, look, I don't blame him one bit.
Yeah, well, there's not much we can do from our end, but
Nah.
we can all just show our disgust.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll kind of move on to the players now. Big news out this week that Hugo Lloris could be out on his way. The signing of Vicario and the fact that we're keeping Fraser Forster in the mix was quite inevitable with the way that Lloris has been playing the last 3 seasons.
Yeah.
I feel like his time was done a couple of years ago, but we've kept on to him because he has been at the club for so long. I think it's nearly 12, 13 years. But it looks like Paris Saint-Germain, PSG, is interested in bringing him back to the French football, probably in a secondary role because I think I don't even know who they have. They're Donnarumma as their goalkeeper.
Donnarumma, yeah,
So probably
Donnarumma.
to be a second to Donnarumma. And he's at the time where he's retired from the French national team too, so that'll probably put some bums in seats.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about PSG going to Hugo? Hugo going to PSG.
Yeah, look, I think if he's going to be playing backup, then yeah, look, he won't be getting in front of Donnarumma. There's no way. There's no hell and chance he's getting in front of Donnarumma. So I mean, he might as well just take that second spot, unless he goes to there was rumors about him going to Inter if Manchester United get Onana. So I mean, if that's the case, look, he might suit the Inter Milan better than if he goes to PSG because I know he'll want try to get first. He want to try to get first time. He want to get in the squad, first man squad. So I mean, for me, yeah, look, depends who's paying the best, or who's paying the most, or yeah, whatever he's worth. Then I don't mind either. I think his time's up. We've seen last season, the last couple of seasons. I think after that elbow injury he had against Brighton, when he had that big injury. I think that's when he was on his down because he didn't show much after that because he just wasn't doing what he used to do and showing the what he was capable of. So I mean, yeah, look, I reckon either one, Inter Milan or PSG. I don't really mind. I think he just needs to go.
Yeah, well, I know Nath Warner. He a few years ago we used to play FIFA together, and he would always be France, and I would always be England. And he said to me one day, he goes, "I wish we bought Lloris because he is a fellow Tottenham fan." And lo and behold, I think it was like the next transfer window we did. But yeah, his time is done. His time was done a couple of years ago. Merv brought it up when he done his elbow. I think it was before that. I think he was in and out of consistency before his elbow got done. I think it was at Newcastle it happened. If I'm probably wrong though. But yeah, and PSG, PSG's fine. They're going to pay him bags of money to sit there on the bench anyway. He's pretty much going to be sitting on our bench this season. I can't see him being around. He wanted to leave last year, from my impression. So we kind of held on to him. But from what I'm hearing is Levy doesn't want to let him go for free. And that's the problem that we have. We have a 30. How old is Lloris? I need to check his age.
I think he's about 30.
Is
30.
So he's 37. He's 37 this year. The guy's at the end of his career. Just let him go. Just cut our losses. There's no point trying to get a fee for him. You're going to get a couple of mil. What's a couple of mil going to do? You know what, Levy? How about, right, if you get a couple of mil for Lloris, you lower the ticket prices back down, because that 2 mil is going to cover the money that they're going to get revenue-wise for the tickets.
Yeah, I reckon, if you're going to sell them, just lower the prices, to be honest.
No, I mean, they should be doing it anyway, but this is what I'm saying is the fact that we can't get money for these guys. They've been held on for so long. They're past their peak. We're trying to get rid of Deadwood, and no one wants Deadwood. No. And that goes into the next player we're going to talk on to, because there's a few at the moment that look like could be going out. Perisic. I know it's rumored that Perisic was one of the ones that were ready to go. He was ready to go when Conte left. But there's a little rumor going around that apparently with Perisic going out the door, possibly going to Croatia, we could be looking at Cucurella, who we did, in fact, look at when he was at Brighton, but he went to Chelsea. How do you feel about Perisic leaving for starters? And then if he did leave, would you reconsider going in for Cucurella, which I don't know, because I think Poch might be able to get the best out of him. But do you think Cucurella would be a good replacement? And I don't think it's going to be the case, but I think it might be a good bit of business if we do that, though. And before you do that, MBR, how are you, bro? Been a while. But yeah, question. Do you think Perisic will go? And if we do you think we'll go get Cucurella?
For what I've seen, there was a video out that someone brought out on Twitter that Perisic was training for, the preseason. But for me, I think we might have to get rid of Perisic. Like, if we go, I know we were playing the 4 at the back, and he doesn't play well. He can't defend. He needs to play up more in the front 3. So I mean, look, he's got a great crossing ability, which it's great. But I'm also saying that look, I think he's got old legs. He won't be able to run as quick. I think the players such as Barnes and all that stuff will beat him on the outside. So I mean, I have to cut my losses with Perisic. Like I loved him when we signed him, because I thought, look, we got a decent player. Like I knew we were linked with him a few years ago. I think it was
before he went to Chelsea. That window, he was looking at going to Man City.
Yeah, that's what it was.
We really needed to sign a left wing back for Conte, and he was the one that we kind of got into.
Yeah. So I mean, he was definitely the one I was really, because the time I think when we versed him against Inter, I think it was when Inter, and then when he was at Bayern Munich on loan, he tore us apart. So I mean, look, he's a good player, but I just don't think he's going to suit the end system. So I mean, I got to cut my losses with him. The fact that we're going for Cucurella, do you really think him and Romero will get along after what Romero did to him? Pulled his hair.
Mean, didn't they say that about Richarlison and Romero? I mean, that is a good point, though.
Yeah, so you think those two will get along after that? Look, I rated Cucurella when he was at Brighton, but I think now that he's gone to Chelsea, and as you said, I think Poch will probably keep him to, get the best out of him. So I mean, I don't really think we'll be going for Cucurella. I think we needed someone a bit better than him. I'm sure there's someone a lot better. I wouldn't Oh, who was it? Nah, he's actually a right back. I was gonna say Max Aaron's, but he's actually a right back. Um, but yeah, and he's small too. So I mean, look, yeah, I just don't think we're going for Cucurella. I think we need to get someone a bit better than him.
Well, I don't think Chelsea will sell to us
Yeah,
for one, and two. I think Poch will want him to stay. I think Poch can get him
yeah,
going a bit like how Graham Potter did at Brighton. And you know what? I agree.
I agree, hundred
There's a
percent
lot
agree
there's a
with this
lot
one.
of controversy going around Reggie. Apparently, he's one of the ones that have been told that he's not good enough after 3 days being under Ange. I don't believe that's true. By the looking of training and the way they're reacting, I think Reggie is putting in um, a good shift. Time will only tell, but if I'd like Reggie to stay, I think there's something about him. He's passionate. He
Yeah,
isn't the best going forward, but he's fairly decent. He's a bit like a Royal. He's better than Royal going forward, a lot better. But I think he'll suit Ange's system um, a bit more than the likes of Perisic or Sessegnon. Um, Someone did make a point about Perisic moving further forward to left wing to be cover for Son and Solomon moving on the right hand side to cover for Kulu. I wouldn't mind that if Perisic decided to stay because we've
yeah,
always said it. Perisic was a left winger, never a left winger, but wing back. The guy can't
yeah,
defend.
yeah,
Your point on Cucurella is 100%. I just don't think he'll come over anyway. But
yeah.
even if he does, he didn't set the world alight at Chelsea. Maybe it was just bad management, bad tactics. But yeah, I don't think it's true though. That only just
Yeah,
popped up today.
yeah,
And the last one on the main guys is Hoiberg. We spoke a bit about this on Tommy's channel the other day. Pierre Hoiberg could be going to Atletico, and I know your points on it. He does suit their system. He does
hmm
suit the way that they play. But do you think this is going to happen, or do you think it's um, another ploy to make the club look like they're doing something?
Well, I hope it's true because look, if we were going to get a decent amount of money from a midfielder, he's probably the only one. You know, he's probably the decent one you're going to get decent money for. So I mean, and plus, do you think he would suit Andrew's system? I don't think. Look, everyone say he will. Some people say that some of the fan base say they won't. Some of the fan base say he will. And I'm personally saying that he probably won't because there was he is a good he is a good defender, but it's just going forward he just doesn't. I just don't think he just won't be able to provide as much. And plus with the way Bentacore and Bazuma and the likes of Sa and Skip, if they step up a lot, if they step up, then I mean, look, he's gonna find it hard to try and get in. And look, I think to be honest, I think Sa's probably got a bit more technical attributes than more than Højbjerg does. From what we've seen last season of him, I think he can do a lot more than what Højbjerg can do. He's still young, so I mean, I think he's got a lot more to do. But yeah, I think if Atletico can really come in for the money for him, then by all means, I'll cut my losses and go, okay, sell him. I
Yeah,
still,
well,
yeah.
you make a good point on Sarr. I think there's something special about
Mm-hmm.
Papamata Sarr.
Mm-hmm.
People can sit there and say all they want, but I think there's something about him that just stuck with me last year, and it was the way that his eagerness to make up after a mistake for one, the fluidity of moving the ball from defense to attack. He seemed to want to take the ball on with his feet, a bit like good old Musa Dembele. And the kid's only 20. He's got plenty of room to grow. He's going to grow a bit taller, get a bit stronger. His tactical ability will get better. I think there is a little player in there. And Nathan, once again, without Europe this year, there isn't a need for 5 mids that could start any game. And that's the problem is we do only have Europe. So where do these? There's no points. There's no point having this many players in midfield if when they're not going to play. There's no point. Our midfield three will probably be Basuma, Bentancur, and Madison,
Mm-hmm.
with the backup of Skip and Sarr. I don't mind that. However, I do feel like we may need one old head on the bench to come in. But as you know, I don't think we should sell Hoiberg, but there is one thing, and we might as well cash in, and that's right. We might as well get the most money because I think apart from Bentancur and Madison, maybe even Basuma, Højbjerg will generate the most money, and we can use that money to bolster up the defense. Maybe get another attacking winger on the right hand side if Solomon's playing as cover for Son, or cash in for a better midfielder that can cover the likes of Basuma or Bentancur or even Madison, because I do think we need a backup centre attacking or a creative player. And if we're not going to use Devine and we're going to loan him out, then maybe we should use that money from Højbjerg to get a better player. The likes of Alex Scott. Even, I know everyone doesn't want him, but JWP, James Ward-Prowse, give us 2 technical free kick takers. Ward-Prowse can generate the ball in midfield, has done for Southampton. Not saying he's a world-class player, but I think he can do pretty much what Højbjerg can do, and he's a bit more creative in going forward. MVR, we did just speak about that before. MVR, apparently we are linked with Kukurea. We're watching the situation. But I think, as you say, I think it is very unlikely that we get Kukurea from Chelsea. 100%. 1, because of Poch, and 2, because it's Chelsea. I don't think they're going to sell to their direct rivals. And they're going to want to jump us this year from last year. So that's just my point on that. Now, it's been 2 weeks. We haven't signed a centre-back. I'm hearing rumours that we're in for one, but then I think about 12 hours ago I saw something that apparently made that because of the backlash of only signing one, the club is considering getting both Tapsoba and Van der Ven. What do you think's going on? Because it's been 8-9 days since we've agreed personal terms with both these guys. The clubs don't seem to be chucking out concrete offers to the clubs, or it's going to be 25 mil with Tapsoba and they want at least 40. What do you think's going on, D? Because honestly, I'm sick of hearing that we're going to sign a centre back. I want a centre back before the end of before tonight, before I wake up in the morning, because we've only got, what's the date today? It's the 9th. There's 9 days until they come out to Oz to play West Ham.
I don't know, man. Look, I'm pretty much the same as you. I thought that these deals would have been done by now. I thought they would have been done. I thought the Van der Ven deal was probably, they were saying, that's their top priority. I thought that was going to be done by now, but we're still dwelling on that. I thought then they were saying Tapsoba's the top priority centre back. And they were saying, oh yeah, that deal's going to get done. Still waiting on that. And now we're getting all these other defenders. I think we mentioned on Tommy's channel that Victor Nelson from Galatasaray. He's still in the run. And then we're getting linked with this Japanese player. I can't really pronounce his name.
Is it Nakamura?
Oh, fucking, I don't know. That sounds like a wrestler, to be honest.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I can't even pronounce his name. I just thought it might have been Nakamura.
He's from Borussia Gladbach.
Mönchengladbach.
Yeah, he's from Borussia Gladbach. I can't pronounce his name. He's a Japanese defender, and now we're linked with him. So I mean, I don't know, man. To be honest, I'm just sitting here always on Twitter saying, "When's these deals going to get done? When are they going to get done? Is it done yet? Is it done yet?" And it's just nothing's coming out. And for me personally, these deals should have been done 3 weeks ago, after the Madison deal. Or basically after the Madison deal, and then the Solomon deal came on. The defenders should have been our first priority, because that's what we needed to work on. And now we're pretty much chasing it. We're chasing, and it's just the longer we keep chasing, the more these. And I said to Tommy, the more we keep chasing, it's more likely these defenders can go somewhere else, because a big club like Newcastle, Liverpool, Manchester City, Manchester United, even Chelsea could come in and grab these players by the scruff of the neck and say, hey, "Come here, we'll pay you the money. See you later." Yeah. And there we go. We're left with nothing.
I think the defender you're looking for is Ko Itakura. I think it's how you pronounced it. I've never watched him play, so
never watched him. Man.
Thomas, welcome to the. I think it's the first time you've been on this YouTube channel. I know that we have you on Insta though. We aren't going to watch them live. We try to, however, we have weddings coming up, babies to be born, and I think because you live in Australia, you know how much it costs to get over to Perth. It's just not worth it. Plus the tickets are skyrocketing now, and there's no way I'm sitting in the stands with some West Ham fans. I know a few West Ham guys here now, and it's crazy, but we will be watching it. I don't know if we might do a watch along if it's on Aussie TV.
We might do one.
Yeah, we'll probably do a watch
Depends on
along
where
for
it is.
that. But yeah, welcome to the channel, bro. I appreciate it. Nathan has said the window is looking great with the early signings, and now it's getting a bit bleak again. I know, and that's the thing. We do have to realise it's 8-9 days into the window, right? That it's understandable that we're not going to get a million signings done early. However, teams aren't mucking about. Aren't mucking about. Arsenal got Rice. Arsenal about to get Timber. I don't know who else they've got. So I think they've got one more player. They've got Havertz. So Arsenal aren't fucking about. They're getting rid of Partey because of his rape charges. If I don't care what anybody says, it's his rape charges. They're getting rid of Xhaka, and they're getting rid of Partey. So they're going to cover their midfield, and it looks like they've already still sorted it. Liverpool got McAllister early. I can't really have a bloke they got. I know you.
Dominic Sloz. I can't.
Midfielder Slobbersley, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Slobbersley. That's it.
And then Newcastle getting a few signings that they've got Tonali. It's been announced. We can't fuck around. We can't. Honestly, it's we have to try and get on this centre backs. And this fella here had us in stitches. What's the point? It's not for us, but morning, big fella. How are you?
Morning, bro.
Back. I did see you on Tommy's stream just before. I was on there just watching before we started. So welcome back. You were cracking some jokes last time we were live. Slobby Sly.
Slobby Sly.
Yeah, I can't even get it right. But back to Tottenham, like you're right. We need to get these centre backs on the books. I'd go for Van de Ven because it looks like Tapsoba is a carbon copy of Romero at the moment. However, we need experience and more games, and Van de Ven's only had about 39, and Tommy pointed this out. So it's getting quite boring talking about this centre-back dilemma that we have, and the fact that no one at the club has realised how important centre-backs are. It's getting to the point that I don't think that we're going to get these two guys. We'll end up going and getting Lenglet, and it will be Dyer, Lenglet, and Romero again, like we had this season. And this is the problem. We do have some new players in Adoji, but MVR's pointed it out. Doji can't defend, and Vicario leaked 49 goals last season, and his Empoli side avoided relegation by 13 points. And that's the thing. You backed yourself up. He didn't have the best defense in front of him. That is true. I think goalkeepers, especially in lower teams, you look at Nick Pope. He had a good record because Burnley played very defensive. But then there's like Ramsdale. No one thought Ramsdale would be as good as he is now. I thought he'd be decent. He got relegated twice in poor teams, and now he's I think he's top 5 goalkeepers in the Prem. I think he's got great reflexes, can feed the ball out, is quite, he's a good goalkeeper. Let's be honest. I think he'll be England number 1 soon. I think Pope's missed the boat with what's his fucking name? Pickford. So, there's players in there that can play in relegated sides and come and be good. And Vicario does look fairly decent, but Adoji can't defend. And he is very much like a Porro. So I don't know how we're going to utilise this guy. That's why I do want to keep Reguilon on unless we buy a new left back, because Davies can't play there in the Prem. He'll get absolutely demolished. And what's the point? Tapsoba's right-footed and mainly plays in the centre of a 3 or on the right when Romero plays. Exactly, that's why I said I want Van de Ven, because Tapsoba's
but he can't play on the left.
He can't play on the left. No, he can play on the left, but he's very much right-footed. And do you find that a problem? Do you find, because I know there's a lot of people say you don't have to be left-footed to play on the left. You can be right-footed. Because I'm pretty sure Vidic was a left-sided centre back for United when he was next to Ferdinand. I don't think it's a problem. I think it's just more convenient nowadays to have a left-footed on the left side, because they can fall onto their natural foot and clear it out. And it also creates, like, you can, when the goalkeeper feeds the ball out, instead of them cutting back into the field in front of goal to boot the ball up, they kind of go to the sideline. So if they do get tackled, it cuts the angle down for the striker to shoot. That's just my point on it. I'm not the best tactician in the world, but I've adopted that in my own FIFA games now. I don't know why, but I have. Thomas has come in with the pronunciation is Zobosloy.
Slobosly. Okay. So we
Zobosloy. So
Zobosly.
if anybody didn't know, um, that's how you say it.
So
Don't worry, what's the point? I only mentioned it for a couple of minutes and then I got ready for the stream. But I appreciate you promoting us, bro. You're always here for us.
cheers,
Um,
man.
you always
Appreciate it.
jump
Big up
on.
to
It's
yourself.
great. Yes, there you go. Ko Itakura, we did speak about that before briefly. I don't know anything about him. I'll be honest. I don't watch German league,
Yeah.
and I know Borussia. I said Modern Gladbach are a decent side in Germany, but I don't know much about Ko.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't
you
know
know,
much about it either.
is it a cheap buy? Is it a Levy buy? Is it this? This could be an Ange buy because he loves his Japanese players. Um,
100%. It could be an inch by. Yeah.
And then what's the point? It said, what's more confusing? I'm left handed, but all the power's in my right hand punch. I'm right footed too, but can play with both feet. I mean, I think that's all confusing, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
You just need to not, you need to stop whacking yourself up with your right hand, then maybe.
I think so.
Thoughts on Sancho? I don't know about Sancho. I think he's more creative he's a more creative winger than a goal scorer. I don't see him coming into this team to score goals. I know he scored a bit for Dortmund, but at Dortmund he was playing more the creator and cutting in from the right. But he just hasn't done it, has he? 2 seasons at United, I know it's been quite troublesome. They haven't been playing the best formation for him, but he seems to not. He seems to be not be it. It seems to be like a bit of a Dele Alli thing. I don't know. I know it's a bit harsh comparing it. He hasn't fallen off the wagon completely, but I don't know. What do you think, Sancho? Would you take him?
Nah, look, I don't rate Sancho. I think you look from what I saw at United for those 2 seasons. Look, I just didn't think, he was gonna come in, into that United team and score bangers of goals. But yeah, as you said, he was more the creator at Borussia Dortmund. I just don't think, I just don't see him fitting in this team. And for us to, I don't think he's that quick either. I don't think he's that quick. So I mean, um, it's a no from me. I don't rate Sancho. Like for the money Man United pay for him, like that's kind of. I think he's down priced now because after those 2 seasons, he just hasn't cut it.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Look, I'm happy to give him a lifeline if he brings the Dortmund form back because I feel
Yeah,
like Kulu. You spoke about some Tommies. Kulu could be moving into the central area as another number 8 with Madison, and I think
yeah,
he's more. He's more suited to the midfield rough and guts of dropping your shoulder, taking it on. But we'll see. Look, I'd take him if we get him for but I don't want to pay astronomical amounts of money or wages for him, and he's just going to sit on the bench or bring
he's
nothing
on,
to the team.
he's on high wages, man. He's on real high wages. So I mean, I don't think we're trying to lower our wage bill here.
This guy, I don't know what this guy is on, but I love it. My
Yeah.
mum must have been on LSD when she had me. How could I be left-handed and right-footed?
I
I
don't
think
know,
it's a bit
man.
more than LSD, mate.
Yeah,
She
bro,
could have been on that
100%.
hash. And then Gladbach conceded 55 goals last season. Stuttgart conceded 57. We are linked with both Japanese centre backs from both teams. That's the thing, though. I don't see much of these leagues. I don't see enough of these teams to comment. But Japanese, and this is where I'm going to go on to this. Daniel sees Japs as opportunities to expand the club brand in Japan. That may be correct, but there is a man sitting in the dugout that has a speciality for Japanese players, and his name is Ange Postecoglou. The guy has seen the league, probably seen these players playing in Japan, picks up some great gems, Hatate, and I can't remember Kogoro, whatever his name is, the striker for Celtic. Both played, astronomically for him. So I think this could be I honestly think this could be an Ange buy if we get either of those centre backs. But do you know anything about these two? I don't know who the Stuttgart centre back is either. I don't
Nah,
know either.
I don't know. I haven't seen both of them, so I can't really comment on if I think they're good or not. But look, if anything, these are these are this is the Ange buys. So I mean, if anyone knows the Japanese league, Japanese players is Ange. So I mean, look, if Ange knows them well enough and they can do a good job, then I'll back him. know, I'll back him 100%. You know, like anything. So I mean, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see if these are true rumors.
Yeah. Well, what's the point? It says when you're big in Japan tonight, big in Japan. All right. Oh, that's a song. I'm the '90s baby, so I don't remember that '80s
Right,
song. So
right. We're
Dad might have
90s.
played
We're
it.
90s. We're
'90s
90s
babies
boys.
right here. 1993. So hit the dirty 30s. Yeah. Postacoglu likes big defenders. He likes big and quick. That's why the likes of Van de Ven, 6'4", Tosin,
Tapso.
6'5", Tapsoba, 6'4". The Buongiorno from Torino, the captain, who is big lad and very well loved at Torino because he's he's only like 26, I think, a bit more solid, left-footed as well. He's 6'4". The smallest player we linked with
was Nelson.
Is Nelson, who's 6'1", I think.
Yeah, but I mean, look, we're going to need big defenders because the likes of Romero won't be able to win a header in the air. So
Romero can't header a ball to save his life.
Exactly. So I mean, we're going to need a big defender just to cover him. So yeah, either of those defenders would be great. But yeah, we'll have to see.
So MVR comes in. I saw links to Hakan Kalanoglu. I don't know how to say that name properly, but that's the best bet. I know to tell you, see him from Inter. 12 GA last season, had a good card on FIFA. Yeah, he's a boss at free kicks. He's like the Turkish Beckham. I know it's probably not the right way because I know Turkish don't like the English that well. But he's a decent centre mid. Playing in Inter, has been in their I think he was at AC as well. I think he switched over to Inter. Good player. I just don't know where he fits, and I haven't seen much of Inter when he plays. He didn't stand out for me. Let's just say because we did play him last year, didn't really stand out for me. However, if I do hear good things about him, and he's a decent player from the little I've seen of him. Have you heard any news on Kalanoglu? I don't know how to say it.
It's Chalanoglu. From what I hear from the Italian commentators, they say Chalanoglu. So I mean, I'm gonna go with that. So look, I've seen a little bit of him. He's a decent player, decent mid, but as you said, where does he fit in our system? Do I see him as an Ange player? I gotta say no. I think he has I think he is technical, but I don't think he's. What is his age? I really don't know.
I think he's
30. I
think he's 30. In his late 20s.
I think he's like 31. 31, I think. I think he's 31.
29. So he's hitting. He's at the back end of his peak. We did experience it in his team too, though. Many people in the midfield that know, like he won with Inter. But yeah, look, MVR, you probably answered the question. I don't think we'll take him because he isn't deep and he probably doesn't really fit the system. He's not going to bust his gut like what Ange wants. But there is someone that Ange wants, and Ange wants a kangaroo playing as centre back. What's the point? Is definitely going to back him. And I mean, if Kangaroo Jack, I don't know if anybody has seen that movie, but if Kangaroo Jack is in our defence, no one's getting past him.
Nobody. If you actually watch
the ring,
all right, put it out there. You guys in the chat, go watch Kangaroo Jack, and you watch I think it was like the third scene when he kicks the guy in the head. That's a defense. That's a Romero defense.
That's a Romero.
That's a Romero.
He channeled his Eric Cantona and that. And basically, what are your thoughts? Look, I'm hearing a lot of stuff, right? So we're going to get onto just a ramble here. Basuma. Now he was buzzed. I was buzzed when we bought him last year. I thought the one midfielder that we needed to get was Basuma, and he's been very underwhelming. But do you think that was Conte's fault?
Yeah, definitely. I think Conte didn't utilize him well enough, and plus, he didn't play in that. He didn't fit in that system that we play. The 3-4-3. He doesn't fit in there because I think you brought up last season. He was better off playing in the 3 in the middle when he plays in the midfield.
That's basically what he played at Brighton.
Yeah.
But
you see how he plays with Brighton. He tore us up in the midfield.
Yeah, he tore every team up. He scored a banger against Arsenal. The guy was probably the best. I looked at his stats, and I think I went through his stats at the start of last season. And this comment by MVR, Uh, oh wait, wrong one. But anyway, what's the point? Said used to watch Skippy the bush kangaroo all the time as a kid, and used to trigger my ADHD to no end. But this is the one I wanted to bring up. Heard Ange loves Basuma. His work ethic and mentality impresses
Yeah, I heard the
Ange.
same. I heard the same too.
I have heard the same. And look, I know this is not good to go off because it's obviously club editing and the videos of them training, right? It's obviously to generate some buzz and stuff, so get people gassed. But Basuma seems to be loving his football right now, and the systems that they're working. He's. I always felt like last season when he was playing, especially at the back end when Mason was playing him and probably telling him to go forward more. He moves the ball quick. He takes one touch and then he moves the ball quick. He's not like Højbjerg that takes 10 years to look around. Doesn't look like Skippy. He takes 10 years to look around. Even Bentancur sometimes is a bit slow to generate the ball going forward. But Basuma always seemed to want to go forward with the ball. And for me, in Conte's system, it was more about absorbing the attack and then just feeding it through the wing backs to feed the front three. Whereas now I feel like we're going to go through the centre backs and it's going to feed through the midfield and then it's going to either go wide or go down the middle depending on. I'm not 100% sure how Ange plays, but I think Basuma is going to have a massive season and I think he's going to be like a new signing for me.
100%, I agree with you. I think there's a lot of reports that Ange loves him, and he can do. And for what I can see, he is going to be he is going to do wonders for us, in that system with Ange. And look, I can't wait. I really can't wait to see what he brings. If he brings back the form he shown at Brighton, then I mean I'm all for it because when he was at Brighton, he was tearing teams apart. Getting the ball, defending the two at the back, and just going forward, always looking forward, and that's what I like about him. He's always looking forward. He's not looking back, not looking to, not taking 10 years to find a pass. He just finds that pass and just goes for it. So I'm all for it, man. I can't wait. Can't wait to actually see him kick off.
Yeah, well, I mean, I want Basuma. I've always wanted Basuma. I think Basuma will sit this midfield three. Him, Bentancur are going to source in that middle. But this is why we need to have good centre backs because we can't sit there and protect him. City have Rodrigo. He just sits there and protects the back four. He's just solid, right? I don't think Basuma's a generic CDM. I think he's more of a centre mid that is quite defensive at times. I feel like he's better off going box to box. So if we ended up getting rid of Højbjerg and then getting like a decent CDM, like I don't know, like a Casido or like a Kante kind of region, Amrabat, Basuma, Maddison will dominate midfields. Amrabat will help the back four. Basuma will get the ball moving forward. Maddison will start picking the ball around. I love Bentancur, but I feel like Bentancur and Basuma, if we do get a centre defensive mid, will be rotating in those. However, it's good though because we want to be spoiled for choice. Yeah. What's the point? It says Ange could have us playing like a 70s Brazil, and I mean that was when Pele was playing for him. Gerson, Carlos Alberto. I'm reading off a sheet because I can't remember the 70s. I'm not that young, but they obviously beat England in the group stage for the World Cup. That's the FIFA 1971 I'm looking at. But I mean, if they make us play out like Brazil, period. I mean, I'll be happy. Neighbours, nice Palm Beach. Stuck my head on the loop too. I mean, I haven't watched Neighbours. I'm an EastEnders boy. I don't know if anybody used to know in the Aussie land, but back in England, EastEnders is GOAT. Not Emmerdale, EastEnders. This I heard rumours about Dybala. I mean, we were linked with him when Poch was here. But we're replacement for
we actually got that over the line. We actually got it over the line, but I think it was due to was it financial? Can't actually remember. I know we actually got them. It was over the lines. There wasn't a here to go from Fabrizio Romano, but it was pretty much like we'll have them, and then all of a sudden it collapsed. So I mean, look, if we want to go back in for Dybala, I mean, I would be happy because I think he's still a decent player, Dybala.
Nathan just brought it up. Player image rights.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
We didn't want to pay the $5 million.
Yeah.
Warren has got the goods. What's the point? Says West Ham fans are up in arms because it said that David Moyes ruined his meeting with Alex Scott, so no deal there. Hopefully, I don't want us to lose Alex Scott. The deal, he's a Tottenham boy. I think chuck 20 mil and give him either. The thing is, for me, is I'm going to say something that's going to be controversial. Pay the 20 mil, loan him back to Bristol City for the season. Right, that's what I would do. However, that's my head thinking. My heart says he's a Tottenham boy. Bring him in if he's good enough to be bought. Stick him sitting behind Maddison. Let him be back up to Maddison, and I think that would probably be the best bet for him to be in and around the first team. I want to see him in the league. I think he's good enough to be in the league. I've watched a lot of X Games. I've somehow got access to Championship games and watch a few of it, and he's a good player. He's a baller, gets the ball moving. That Hular's gone to Real Madrid, so there's no buying him. Big ups to Meta Football TV. And he did say, I'll go back to this comment. Sorry, hello would have been welcome, my friend. I think it's the first time you've been in here. Appreciate you being in here. And he says, I'd have, I think it's Hook Miners from Atalanta midfield, absolute machine that no one talks about. I'm going to reiterate it. I don't really watch, I think that's Italian from Atalanta. Atalanta seem to get some ballers out and that team. They had Romero as well, but they seem to be able to find some gems. Maybe we need to start getting a link with them. But, mate, I'm going to take your word for it. If he's a beast, mate, bring him in. Especially if he's defensive or is he attacking? I don't know. What's the point? Says if I want to get depressed, I watch EastEnders. Yes, EastEnders is the only soap opera that literally anyone can die at any moment. That's how sad this. It's just something's always going to be going wrong. Audio Artisan, welcome back, my friend. You're always here. Appreciate you being here, my friend. I hope you're doing well. And then he comes up with, well, what's the point? It says, I prefer to sign Alex Scott and learn how to skip for a season. That's a good shout. I think Skip's exactly what we have in Basuma, Bentancur, and Sarr, and Højbjerg. So, we have four of the same player pretty much. Maybe giving Skip a loan out needs to happen. He needs to go to a lower Prem team, though, not a Championship team. Yeah. I like this.
Yes.
How do you feel about this?
100%. I think for what I've seen in training in Divine, and all that, and plus from a young age, he has shown a lot. I think he's shown he's determined. He wants to be in the first team. I would seriously, if we don't get Alex Scott, bring Divine up. I think Divine can really do something in this end system. And really,
do you think loaning him will do? Because look. My point is a loan's really good for a young lad, especially in the Championship, because you get kicked around and stuff to grow into a man, right? But you look at the likes of Martinelli, Saka, Emil Smith-Rowe, and I'm going to name those three because they're at our main rivals, Arsenal. All of them are young kids, and they all got given a chance, and they all took it. Now, Emil Smith-Rowe hasn't been in and out the squad, but I think there's a baller there. He's a baller.
He's a baller.
You look at Gordon. 17 was starting for Everton. Yeah. He got named player of the tournament yesterday or this morning for the Euros. He's only 21. Divine is going to be in that age group soon. Do you think Divine? I personally would like to see Divine coming in and around. I know he was on the bench a lot last season. Be nice to see him come into the team. But what's the point? He's come in and said, sorry, but Alex Scott is levels above Divine, but both help the English quota. I mean, why can't we use both? Why can't we utilize both around the squad?
They're creative.
They're both. They could both help us going forward. Nathan has come back and said, "Sounds like Atalanta is the new Ajax." And Atalanta got some baller players, and I don't know how they're finding these gems. Obviously Romero is one of them. That's the main guy I know because that's where we saw him. Before we bought him. But Meta says he's a CM. I think that's back on to Hoop Miners. I think it is, or Coop Miners. Coop Miners. Mid-20s, great shot and engine. I mean, 24, 25 is a good age, hitting his peak.
100%.
So big up to you, Israel Uncovered. I don't know if you've been in here, brother, but appreciate you. Welcome to the channel. Yes, Aussie. I'm not going to say oi because I ain't Aussie. I mean, I just said it.
I'm not going to say it.
And then, so MVR said, Alex Scott is way ahead of Divine right now. Would like Divine to have a sporadic role in the squad next season. I don't see that sporadic that word unless you're playing FIFA. But
Yeah.
you know what? The thing is this season's really really bad for Alfie Devine because we're out of Europe.
Yeah.
It would have been nice to play conference with these
Yeah.
young players. And however, the only good thing that can work is we are starting in round 2 of the FA Cup instead of round 3. So the only time these players are really going to get games is cup games.
Yeah.
So
That's what we
it's
need to
quite
start
hard.
utilizing. That's what we have to use them more in the cup games.
For me, it'd be like going to Luton, right? 2-3-0 up, 60th minute. Don't bring on the kids. Not all the kids. Devine or Scott if we buy Scott. We have Dorrington in the centre back role. Bring him on for some game time.
Yeah.
Don't worry about Lengley or whatever if we're 3-0 up. We need to start utilising these players and giving him minutes. Foden was given minutes. Saka was given minutes. Gordon was given minutes. These kids are given minutes, and Tottenham do not seem to have a way of integrating these young lads into the team.
What are your thoughts on Niall John?
Niall John.
Niall John. I think he's a baller. I think
he looks like a little nugget in that midfield.
Yeah.
Transition from midfield to attack. I feel like he's a box to box centre mid.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's not. No one's really talking about him.
Yeah. He was loaned out to. Where was he loaned out last season? I think he was loaned out to.
It might have been conference Vanarama League. Let me have a look.
No, he was loaned to Championship League. I think it was. No, it wasn't. Was it Middlesbrough?
No. No, he's played. I think he played for the under-21s. I don't think he got loaned out last season. No, Charlton.
Okay.
He went to Charlton. Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, he did win out.
He was on loan at Charlton last season. I didn't hear much about him, only for 6 months. But he did play for the under-23s.
Yeah.
So he's only, I think he's 20. He's 20 this year. Oh, he's just turned 20. So decent midfielder, but I don't know. I haven't seen much of the youth. I stopped watching the Spurs play youth because it was just shocking. And then Warner, we won a trophy this year, and this year is the best year 100%. For a cup. And we did say on Tommy's channel the other day, I would take 6th or 7th. Getting in those lower Europe spots and getting a cup run. I think a cup we need a trophy. If we've got any qualms in trying to keep Kane, any hope in actually attracting better footballers, we need to start winning stuff. We haven't won anything in 15 years. Next year will be 16 by the time we actually get to the point of where we could possibly win a trophy. I want the trophy. I'm not willing to risk it for the kids, but like I said, if we're 2-3-0 up in a cup game, 60th minute is usually the time. You still got enough time that if you bring the kids on and it does go pear-shaped, you can kind of fix it in the last 10 minutes to try and finish off the game. But I think Ange's teams, no one's going to be scared to get on that pitch in Ange's system. I think he's got that charisma where he's going to drive these youngsters thinking they're ballers and they're going to go gung-ho. And we're going to see the best of them, I reckon. It's just whether or not we actually play them or they're good enough. But what's your thoughts on the youth before we go? Because we're going to end it soon. I've got to go to work in the morning. It's 9:45 at night. It's only going to be a short one, an hour or so. But any other youth players that you guys in the comments or you yourself, Delane, think that we need to be looking at to be either integrating or giving a chance to kind of push the first teamers,
I think
up the next.
I think back on the last game against Leeds, I think Craig come on. His name's Craig. He looked like a pretty decent player, decent midfielder. I think he plays centre defensive mid. So I mean, he looked decent the way he came on. So I mean, he could be up there. And also as Nathan probably brought in here, Scarlett. Yeah, look, we haven't talked about Scarlett or Parrott, Troy Parrott. Like, we don't know what's going to happen with these players. We don't know if Angie's going to be using them. For me, if I was to use one of them, I'll probably use Scarlett. I think Troy Parrott's kind of for me, I think we all hope Troy Parrott was going to be that decent, going to be, the next Harry Kane, next best thing coming out of Tottenham. But I just don't think he's clicked yet, especially being on loan. Millwall. You know, so I mean, look, I think.
Paskoski. I
Oh,
can't say his
actually,
name. The Estonian. I think he played right back for us in the preseason last year.
yeah,
He already played. I think he already plays for Estonia, the national team. Obviously, they're not a big team, but that's a good shout. Lyons Foster. I don't know. I don't know if he's still in the squad. I thought he got released. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I got the wrong player. Um, yeah, I think Pastrotsky is a good shout. I honestly think he. And that Brooklyn's Lions Foster is in the team still. I think that's a good shout. We do need centre backs. I mean, um, I'd rather see these two instead of Dyer, to be honest. If Porro playing right back, I'd rather the young lads play right back because Porro can't defend for shit. Nathan has said if Parrott can't break through this year, he needs to be sold. Yeah, I think he already needs to be sold. He's too injury prone. Didn't do well at Preston last year. Played okay. He plays okay for Ireland. He plays for the national team already. But for me, I think his ship sailed. I think Scarlett's the next big thing out of our academy right now. For me, I think Scarlett will suit Ange's system, much like Richarlison will. That's why I think Richarlison's going to have a big year. But do you keep Scarlett from developing in our team by setting him out on loan, or vice versa? Do you stop him from being, possibly breaking onto the scene in Tottenham? So go loan him back out again. I think if you're going to loan him, Parrott or Scarlett, if it's not to a low prem team like Luton Town, then you don't loan him out. You either sell him or you stick him in the squad to get onto the pitch. As Evia said, Scarlett was invisible last year. I mean, Portsmouth, he was there last year.
Scored a couple of good bangers, man.
He scored a couple of good goals, but he wasn't playing too well. I think he got dropped in and out of the squad. That is a bad sign. But Harry Kane was like that though. He was in and out of the squads until he came and Sherwood gave him a shout. Fagan Walcott got released. You're right. Sorry, audio. It's just I think it's the double barrel name got me confused. Last saw Fagan Walcott when we were losing to Leipzig 3-0 in the UCL. Yeah, I think that was the last game when we couldn't make it, so they just chucked on the kids to give them the experience. But on that note, guys, anything else before we head off? I mean, guys, if you're in here, make sure you're smashing a like and subscribing to the channel. Share us out if you like what we're doing. Appreciate you all being in here. But is there any other news, Delane, before we head off that you think is worthy of?
Not that I know of. I think we pretty much I think that's basically the week. Until next week we'll hear more centre back rumours and more positive saying, "Oh, look, we're gonna get Mickey Van Der Beek. Oh, we're gonna get Tapsoba. Oh, we're gonna get someone else," and then we just fall off again. Look, I just think this whole centre back Harry Kane shit is freaking mind blowing me. It's just like giving me a headache, to be honest. Giving me a headache. So I mean, either do one or the others. Either sign centre backs, get that over done with. Try and keep Kane around, and then try to give him a new deal if he wants it. But other than that, man, just get these centre backs done, and just hopefully we get them done.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sick of the rotating shit of the centre backs and the Harry Kane stuff. I think it's just that one CFB and Twitter handle that's doing this shit. But look, guys, we're going to end it there. Thank you very much for joining us, D. Thank you again for utilising your time. I know we got to work early, so appreciate everyone in the chat. Shout out to you all, and we'll be doing more content during the week, more shorts. Any news that comes up, Delane's usually on it. You see him on those shorts, so please give him a shout out as well. And guys, we're going to end it there. And as always, stay Spursy.
Stay Spursy, guys.